So, yes, like I said, there the charts kind of got a little bit messed up. So I'm just here fixing some of these levels that I have had set up. I am going to use this as the previous day low here. Low there. Okay, previous day low. And then this will be the overnight low. I want to say, I'm going to just use this, and then I'll just be mindful of that gap fill. This is going to be my overnight low. And then I'll use that gap fill. We'll just be mindful of that. Okay. For the ES, we're looking at got a little bit of let me see here. Sorry. My charts aren't loading, so just give me a second. Let's see if it's going to work or not.
My team
Oh,
over 200
that's loud.
campaigns a year.
And I bet you those levels went away again. Nope. Okay, we're good. Very nice. Even the VWAP and my volume indicator kind of got messed up here, so I'm just kind of going to go off of these levels, hoping that they're good. Let's see if I can add a VWAP here. Add it to that chart. I'm going to add volume here for this. S&P's overnight lows. We'll call this one here is the overnight low, and we'll call this the overnight high here. Yeah, I'm looking for shorts too. I want at least to close that gap potentially. It just feels like it still wants to be a little heavy. Microsoft in the pre-market pushed up over 400 and now is holding below 4. Nvidia is a little bit stronger, has a very similar pattern to what we're looking at on the NQ as well. So I am going to just be mindful of this gap fill type idea here because I do like this level here. I want to get rid of that. I was interested in that long on Friday, didn't take it, but yeah, because we were already there. I want that level. Just want this as a notated level. It doesn't need to be anything important. Just so I can see that. On market open, I want to see it give me some sort of upside push first. I can't really be executing this right here, right? I want to be into that overnight high, that's a little bit off. This needs to be here, I believe. Let me just make sure I'm going to check. Yeah, that's still the high. I'm using this as the overnight high. I think the gap fill here is also important. There. So we'll use those levels right there. This is going to be kind of just what I'm looking for here. Any sort of push up above the overnight high, hold, and then continue. We do have up to this trend line here, right there. If you look at that chart, I'm going to make sure I'm on the right screen. Yep. You can see that I do have a slight downtrend that was held all of last week. Touched it. I mean, even if we adjusted down some just to really make sure that this last piece got touched there, it's like not an exact science. So up into that 400, not even 400, 343, 345 level, 390. We could be pushing into there if this is a little bit wider, right? If that isn't quite the area of resistance, we could chop sideways until we get to this point, right? It could stay at this 300 level, up and down, up and down, up and down. till we get here. They can either give you a false breakout and continue down low to this 162 or rotate back upside. So let's see if this overnight high gets wicked here. We are now open. I am going to be trading this if it does fail it. I don't trust a long right off the jump. So I want to see a failed manipulation over this overnight high. I want to see my delta play along with me. I want to see a lot of things work in my favor. You got a strong delta push here. Price not quite pushing through those highs, so that's a good sign there. Russell also pushing up. S&P is trying to dance around. So I'm just watching those things here as we're looking to see if we catch this quick short off of that. I want to see this pop up a little bit more. I don't want to see it fail quite yet. I need a little bit more of a push to the high side. You know, that would be nice right there. That little bit of a manipulation there above here. It is Monday. I mean, that dump just came off right there into the VWAP. I don't trust that first move of the break of the opening range, so we are going to be patient on it. Right, the breakdown of that opening range. The low of the opening range there is 288. The high end of the opening range is 307. So give it some time. Let it digest. It is Monday. It's Monday. Give it some time to digest. See if it'll get up over that overnight high or close to it, and then give you that setup to fail this bottom end here. If it's just going to melt right away, then, you know, we have that that gap fill idea. I will be considering something short, maybe through this trend line. Right here, you know, something through here. Nvidia still holding up, but getting heavy. Monday morning, I don't look for that first move. You know, I like to digest some of that weekend, over the weekend, overnight kind of ideas. So that, like I said, I didn't trust that short right there into the VWAP. I got to adjust this VWAP, but I don't have an idea here. We'll do yellow, and we'll make it a little bit thicker if I can. Doesn't let me make it wider. All right. Nvidia pushing high side. Like I said, I think we do chop around up into that 300 area for a little bit, at least until we run into that trend line, that downtrend that we're in. Could either be, you know, by noon, but if we pop up and then fail that overnight high, then rotate downside, then that gives us a bit more confirmation on this short on that end. S&P is heavy as well, sitting on top of VWAP, but threatening to flush it. You see wicks. Decent size got filled. There was a 284. There was a 100 lot that got filled, short side. 84, 100 lot, short. So there is some size loading into the shorts at that area. However, you know, that was only one order. It could have been stopped out. So just be careful. If I start to see more 100 lots get in on the bid on the time of sales, then I'll let you know. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I see Nvidia popping to the high side here. Nvidia's popping high side. That probably means Apple's fading. Well, it's kind of just dancing around. Microsoft not giving me any information. There we go. Broke above 400, trying to break through pre-market highs. Pre-market highs here is 401.39. If it breaks that, you got up to 402.24. I like this short coming at some point here. Do I trust this quite yet? Maybe. This delta is still pushing higher as price is pushing lower. S&Ps are pushing lower. Russell absolutely tanking. The Russell is pushing down really, really hard. If we crack below here, below VWAP, could possibly look to get to that little opening print there from the weekend at least. And then beyond, with S&Ps getting heavy, this could go sell side. That little move up there would have been nice to get if it was at that overnight high. I don't trust it around the VWAP. Not quite yet. It's Monday. Not going to force it in. Kind of got screwy with my levels there. I had to redraw some stuff, and then my charts got a little wonky. So normally I get on the charts and everything is good to go. So Mondays is a little bit of a setup day, get everything going, get a feel for where the market wants to go again. With Microsoft pushing higher, VWAP being right here, I don't trust this as a short yet. This could be a bounce from this area. I don't know if we're ready to go just quite yet. I think we have well, actually we do have some lower support here. If you look at this chart, it's a little bit cleaner on the 30. That's going to be more of where you want to see break. You want to see that push down below this level here, which would be 17,255 down in that area. That would be down here. I have this drawn up, but that was a nice little bounce from there. So, wrong chart. This chart here. I didn't forget the giveaway. We are still going to do it today, but we are traders first. So focus on the trades. Let's execute something, and we'll do it before the end of the stream today. Okay. Still doing a little bit of a dance here. I want to see what happens around this 300 level. Like I said, the Russell sold off really, really hard. Small caps closed its gap. S&P is still well above its gap. I think if Russell keeps pushing downside, we could probably hold this low and continue to rotate. These small caps have been getting beat up here. Russell leading us to that. I don't know if that means flows are going to come into these Mag 7 names. Nvidia is still bouncing. Tesla also caught a bid here from that low. Flushed that pre-market low, and now Tesla is trying to push up over the opening print. Made a new high of the day, 141, and now it's kind of rotating. Microsoft, like I said, pushing up into that 402.15, 402.25 level, which was the resistance on Friday. So if it can crack above that, you might get some bit of a buying push come in. S&P's broke through the VWAP here on the 1 minute. It feels like maybe that the S&Ps are leading downside along with the Russell. So there's a slight disconnect here in the NQ. Maybe we catch a little bit of a sell through the low this go around. So this trend line to me is not perfect. Let me get it tighter. Although it is working, it's holding pretty nicely. Let me tighten it up a bit. Really could be using the bodies of this here. And that could be more likely the line. Just with that chop and everything, I don't really, like I said, I'm not here to just hammer into trades just to hammer in. I want something to set up and scream, you have to trade me. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm going to share the Tradecaster link into the YouTube. If you're over on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe. Also, head over to tradecaster.com. Use your 7-day free trial. We are doing that 50 viewer giveaway today. We're going to do the whole spin of the wheel. So until I actually spin the wheel, you have time to enter. Not sure exactly what time I'm going to get it done. We're going to look for a trade first, see if something sets up here around the overnight high, and then go from there. Or if we could crack through the low of 55. 55, that area down here would be an interesting level for short as well. Could front run it through this trend line here. Tilt's about 50-50. Microsoft's at the resistance level. Nvidia is still pushing a little bit higher. Do we get follow through on this? That's the question. Is there a delta push? You got a really nice push in delta. Price did not even come close to trying to make new highs. Rejecting that opening range low. Sat on VWAP there. Maybe a crack of the VWAP pushes it downside with this Russell. But absolutely just not happy today. put the Microsoft chart on top so I can see it at least. Overall, I think we're going to have somewhat of a, maybe not an uneventful week, but just maybe it'll just continue to sell off. But for the most part, okay, so you see S&Ps here. Let me stop talking. You see S&Ps trying to break through lows, NQ's pushing up a bit. Microsoft's pushing into resistance, NVIDIA's trying to push up into resistance as well. If you get any sort of selling in either of those names, then the continuation to the downside might come in here. I may look to sell one in just below here just to cheat that short. If it does fail the VWAP one more time, because I do like the way that Delta is kind of popping up and price is not following through, meaning that buyers are coming in, but there might be some sellers here, bigger size sellers that are looking to hammer this down. But if this Delta starts to push up continuously and price continues through this high, I would be cautious. Just cautious, because you got it bouncing the S&Ps at support, and you got just a little bit of bid coming in here in the Russell at the moment. So I'm watching that Delta. Maybe if we get to that overnight high, clean that up. Give me a little divergence. I'm going to cancel that order there for now. Give me a little divergence. Get up in that overnight high. There we go. Pushing up towards it. So the nice thing here that we see that could help our short out if we get above that overnight high, we clean this up, and if the S&Ps can hold down here below VWAP and then start to push and look to break down while the NQ is pushing up into this overnight high, I like that idea for maybe that there's a chance that the NQ wants to catch back up again, and maybe we give it a little wick, give a second try at it, and then we shoot it to the downside, and it's just a heavier pressure to the downside. If not, we do, like I said, I think we chop around here for a bit, and then we go. So you see that trying to break the low here in the S&P. Got some Delta pushing down. Opening range low trying to be tested once again. 287.50. 287.50 right here. That could be a sell right there. S&P is holding support. NVIDIA rejected. Microsoft rejecting. I'm going to throw my sell here. Give that. Oh, yeah. We always do that. I got to get rid of that. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. So we got the sirens running here, baby. Got the sirens running, looking for the alert to have it. We're going to risk just above VWAP if it does want to crack through this 64 level. I want to see that the S&Ps crack. S&Ps are pushing lower. NVIDIA's failing at resistance. Microsoft's failing at resistance. We failed to break above opening range high. Tried to break down again. If this could just catch us down to this gap fill or the top end of where the gap opened, see if we can rotate to overnight lows. If we bounce from here, we'll just cancel it up. Let's see if we can get our overnight high setup going. But the more times we touch this spot, the more times we have a chance to break through it. The alert's out there. The sirens are running. Let's see if we could get this thing going. I know it's a bit much. We're just being patient, waiting for it to kind of push down here. I see S&P still ticking down. I see a good little bit of a Delta push. They attempted to make a high, didn't make it. If you get through VWAP, the rotation down comes. I normally don't take this, but I think it's a key level. I think we go based off of the S&Ps. I'm going to risk just to the high of VWAP there for my stop. Just trail it quick and see what happens. Although S&P is giving me a little bit of a downward wedge, into support, could be breaking. If it breaks to go above VWAP, it could go up. But Microsoft's selling off pretty good right here. Down to 401, caught a bounce. I'm going to shut the siren off for you. Kind of not there. If I get filled and triggered, that siren will run back on, so you'll know that we are in a trade. But right now, we're just waiting. Waiting patiently here. See if this will break down. Like as I mentioned, Microsoft rejected the 402.25, which was the high point of resistance later on in Friday's session. NVIDIA looking to break out now. So that's a little bit concerning. Just broke above 785, 78, pushing up into 788. If it breaks high a day, anticipate 793.78 coming in, then we're going to just play around that overnight high again. So this is acting as a really good resistance area. As I mentioned, I think if it does crack, you at least get a decent flush. Pretty quick move. You might run into that bottom there at 49.50 area. That's 15 points, 16 points that you want to catch, but I would like to get it down into that 38 if it does come down and through. So we're just going to watch it. Patience, patience, patience. See if I would love to get up into that overnight high, like I said, and also have VWAP, S&P's below VWAP. That would be the best case for me. We're chopping here, not making new highs. You can see the Delta divergence kind of coming in here. If you see Delta pop, then maybe, we'll start to have a concern, but if we break this pre-market, this opening range high here, and your Delta just kind of lingers around below this previous high, you're getting a bit of a divergence there. Could look to short that, like I said, resistance here all the way through here. The initial breakdown, come back to it. Now you're getting a lower high here. Oh, that was actually a decent Delta pop. You saw that pop. This might continue on a little bit. S&P's got back into their opening range, and Russell is starting to march back up a touch. Be cautious. Be cautious. Canceling this order once again. We're just going to wait on it. What'd I say? 87 is that opening range low. Could take that opening range low breakdown into VWAP and beyond to the low. NVIDIA broke. Like I said, NVIDIA, I just talked about it here. If NVIDIA breaks through the high of the day, it's going to run right to 793.78, and it literally popped, went right to it. So watch that level as resistance. And then you also have Microsoft. Got up into that 402.25, rejected it. Now we're kind of trying to push up again. The pre-market high resistance is 401.38. All that stuff does play a factor in what we're looking at here in the NQ. Russell's starting to continue its march back up. S&P's rejected its opening range. Delta still trying to push higher. If it does give you that leg higher, then maybe it continues on. We're going to watch it. Ran the sirens, didn't quite get any sort of breakdown here. So the hold at VWAP could be the indication of a break of the overnight high here. If we do get the break of the overnight high, we're going to look to see if we could get some sort of either deviation or a wedge pattern type deal to get that short come back through. So you can see Delta acting normal. Should probably play this breakout of this opening range high now. It's going to move a little bit for us. So where do we have as targets for the high side? 350 could be an interesting level there to be eyeballing. 350 up into the top end of that at 386. So 350 to 386. If we could get whippy, that's what the NASDAQ does. So I'm going to watch now. See what kind of failure happens here at the overnight high. I need a setup. I can't just have it run into here and take that short because, like I said, we could get all the way up into 350, 367 without much issue. 72% long, so starting to get tilty to the long side. People trying to play the breakout. But you can see as the price broke through, as did Delta, right? We're right on that secondary VWAP, that one standard deviation. Russell's still marching up, so maybe the NQ is just the leader today. This is why we were cautious on selling from that, just off that opening range low. We wanted to see this happen, something come up into the overnight high, and then chop around here, maybe give us a little bit of a rising wedge. And I mentioned that this S&P, the reason it was concerning is it got down below that level and it created this little bit of a, descending wedge type or whatever you call it. I don't know. It just looks like it wants to get squeezed. And that's usually when, if it does break, it goes kind of quickly up to the upside. So that I called that out as well and said I would be careful on the short here because that did look like it was going to go long. That's why I set my stop order down here. I didn't just hammer into a market sell. I think we're just kind of watching, making sure everything, we could be patient. You can bring it in. I don't need to watch right now, but give me coffee. Espresso shots of the day. Maybe that'll help our setups come into play. %70 long. A little short squeeze espresso might be a short squeeze in this market a little bit. We'll see. But I want to see this thing kind of give me that setup there at 314, 315. Right, but you can see Delta still trying to work its way upside. Price dancing around up here at that one standard deviation. NVIDIA just above that 793.78. Microsoft making a lower high. So like I said, I want to see this thing get down through this overnight high, back down. Oh gosh, I hate when I do that. I want this to tickle in down here like it's doing, push up, try to either make a new high or fail to make a new high, then come down to overnight high again, fail the overnight high. That's when I get my good setups. That's when I'm usually able to limit my risk for the most part and pull the short or long, whatever. Today it's a short idea through here. If it's going to continue, tilt's at 67%, so it's not quite playing that game, right? We are kind of wicking around, dancing around here. I don't see any huge orders on the book. Really close right here. If this fails this immediately, oh well. S&Ps have room to their overnight high, right? So maybe we get like a little bit of a dance going here and the S&Ps hits off on 50.36 and 50 cents or 50, yeah, half a point. If this comes in here, pops this, gets up into there, this makes like a wick off high, then I'll look to short it through that overnight high. Right now, it's making a little bit of a dance around that level. Obviously, it's a key point. It's going to push right into it. It broke above it. We're still only 69% long. Russell's pushed back into its opening range. S&P's is right in the middle of the opening range, and we're above the opening range in the NQ. We are getting a little bit of a delta divergence here, right? You see price popping and delta not giving you that add to it. So that is something I am watching here. So if we do fail it here, oh no, I didn't want to do that. We're filled in, so we're going to kind of just hammer out of this at break even. Fat fingered it. Yeah, so we're up $20, but I didn't mean to do that. So that's why I kind of just got out. Let's disregard that trade. Try not to do stupid stuff like that, okay? I want to stop sell, right? That could have been disaster, right? If you fat finger in, I would highly recommend just hammer out of your trade as quickly as possible. Since I was right there, I just went with the stop order. You could move over here and just go flatten or whatever, but you know, if that would have just jump off on you, you could be in for disaster if you're not prepared, right? So that's the beauty of live trading, showing you the mistakes that could happen when you're doing things kind of quickly. I clicked the wrong button. You get filled on an order. Yeah, we made $20, but that's not really a good thing there. It was just a mistake. Okay. You can see we got the delta not to break through the high, so we are going to get stopped in here probably. I'm going to set the alarm off. See if the sirens will run, baby. See if they'll fail us here. This level could fail now and give us that push to the downside. I'm going to stop out at 20. Would probably be my stop there. So we are short now. Instead of that fat finger short, the real short that we wanted to take is in now. So if we could get down into VWAP, that'd be great. If this fails this now and it's just a liquidity grab, then we risk what we're risking, and it's no harm, no foul. We have our stop out just above us here. but I would like to see Nvidia's failing. I think Microsoft's still rolling downside a little bit. The Delta divergence was there. We have everything at our overnight high that we'd want, except for maybe that wick off top action. So if we do get kind of screwed over there, then so be it. But I kind of don't. I just didn't want to miss that entry down through the short. If we pop out here, we'll be down, 185 or just shy of 180. But it looks like it wants to go. It looks like we're going to get our short in here. So hopefully we could get another nice flush down. Failed breakout, flush to the downside, get us a continuation. Realistically, I'm going to trail down to VWAP. I would love to get this into down into that range or even into the overnight low. But we're just going to trail it and see how it goes. Once we get to 1-to-1, we'll go to break even, and then we'll see where the trade takes us. I would like to see it down to 300 before I get it there, but screw it. We'll go to break even. So it's a free trade for me. Let's do it. Let's see how far we can take it down. If it's going to wick us here, then so be it. I'm cool with that as well. If I'm up 1-to-1, so we're flat now, $34. We're going to turn that siren off. The reason I trail so quickly on those is if I fail my level, it fails fast. It's usually not going to come back up, right? I want to get filled, and I want to get it to maybe tickle back up into a range or come into like a major structure level like 300, then rotate. It didn't come into there, so that tells me that we're maybe a little early. Let's just get out, see if it'll set up, and then we'll get another short in if it does, right? If we could push this up into that overnight high, up into the high of the day right there, maybe either wick it off or fail that 320, like get up above 320 again and then come down to fail the overnight high, I'll take that short again. S&Ps didn't quite make it to that high. Nvidia, Microsoft, both kind of just lingering. So we're just sitting right on top of that opening range. You do have a heavy delta. Everything that we did was correct. I just don't see that flush follow through right there. So that's why I took that stop out at break even, just past break even, right? $34. So there's the push. It's holding, but you can see S&P is looking to tick up. It's a flat base. Maybe S&P pushes up to the high side here, breaks above, fails that, and then comes back down. That'll give us maybe the NQ another leg to that 320. Get up to that 320, fail the 320 level, then we can fail that overnight high again. But right now, we've not pushed even into 300. So there's telling me that there's like a buyer here that's holding us up right up into this little congestion. If it were gonna be going for me, for my setup, if you're into this and you're short and you want to hold it, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think that that's why I took the short, right? For me, for my time horizon and what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for is an initial flush, and I need it to go. I need that break of a key level, a failure of a breakout, and then a rotation down. Usually it happens pretty fast. So for me, once it doesn't, I have to either be break even or be out with whatever I have. But see, that's how I limit my risk. Price is getting back up there. Hopefully it gets up over that 320. Would have stopped us out, right? And then rotate back down. That's what I look for. Where would it hunt me out? It's going to hunt me out, give us a wick off high, and then rotate down. Delta pushing down. Price trying to push up. Delta not having it. I think you are seeing some heaviness here. This could go on this touch, but it just didn't get high enough up there where I could just set my orders and get going. There we go. There's the push down that you're looking for. I said I wanted to get it up into 320 one time before it did flush. Like it didn't quite get to 320. It didn't get where I would have stopped out, but now you can see that the flush happened fast. It's moving. There's good heaviness coming in. So that short was good. You're holding it, right? Delta's moving your way. Everything's kind of moving your way, right at that opening range low. If we fail the opening range low, get below VWAP, then I may play this break down here that I was looking at, right? Oh, yeah. Nvidia selling off. Microsoft selling off. Everything's getting heavy. S&P is still holding above VWAP. This is right here, this opening range low. Broke through it. That short was beautiful. But as I mentioned, I don't like it to not go quick, so I get myself out. I'm not mad about the missing of this part because I was considering getting back in if it would get back above for at least a second, hold, and then go. Could have hammered in below the low, but too close to 300. Opening range low broke. But if that's something that you would have took there, that 314 down to where we're at now, right? Let's call it 314, where we are, right down to here. You're up about 650 on that trade. Secure that 650. Kind of not going to get that follow through, right? This is something that we got to be mindful of. We got to be cautious. I did say we could have probably bounce around this 300 level until we get to that wedge top, but it's just not. Yeah, that's going to take a bit. If it's just going to chop around, it might take a little while to get there. If we just hang around the 300 level, could take until about noon before you hit off on that resistance. Caught from 312? Hell yeah. Good job. I'm glad you got in when I was talking about it. I think as long as you trail out, like I said, these moves aren't giving you a ton of follow through. So just be cautious. As I mentioned, the S&Ps could do what they're doing here and they run up. I stopped at break even, which I'm fine with because I didn't trust that this wasn't going to rip the highs one more time so I could get that re-entry. So we're going to watch it. Let's see if the delta is kind of popping. Yeah, we know we're getting up here again. Once again, into delta, into that opening range high. Wait to see if that's going to be a liquidity grab or not. If this is going to be a breakout for real. As I think up into 340 is where we go to touch off on that high. So if we do break through here, break through the high of day, maybe watch for that failed breakout. Watch that 340 level to be the resistance overhead. Then it'll come back down and fail it. Money, baby. Money, Ray. I love it. NVIDIA bounced off of 7085, 78. And I switched off of there. So Microsoft dipped its head below 407. Got down into 399. And then popped its head right back above that 400 level. If it fails that 400 again, then you can get this rotation down. If we fail through VWAP, this opening range low here, could look to short through the opening range low. It's just so close to VWAP. It's above VWAP. I might just wait for that short through VWAP for my own sanity. If you have been here for a little while, at least for the month of April up until last week, this balance used to be 2,862 or whatever. We took an $800 payout, so we're back into that $2,000 buffer, but that max drawdown doesn't go away, right? It's still zero. So that's just something that we watch, we're mindful of, right? This is just showing you what account I'm trading, what the balance is, what our running P&L is. Everything you see here is live. It'll update as I enter all that stuff. If you see it in gold, it is my funded account, right? If you see anything else other than the gold here, maybe let me know so I can trade my funded account and not be accidentally trading some sort of combine or practice account. Drinking my fresh short squeeze espresso from daytradingcoffeeco.com. All your day trading coffee needs, fueling your P&Ls one day at a time. For me, it's part of my my routine, getting that espresso in. If you come in here pretty frequently, you notice that we do drink a lot of coffee. Yes. Trail it out a little. So market's kind of, I think they're still unsure right here. It's a Monday after that big sell-off. Do they want to come down? Do they want to fill that gap? Do they want to recover, bounce a bit, continue this, they wicked down below here, popped up, open, Is it going to be a gap up and continue to grind higher, or are we going to recover back down, push down into those gap levels, then make a decision if we're going to continue short or if we're going to go long? I think there's a breather period here that possibly plays out. As I mentioned, like I said, up into 340 is that resistance. If we stay right here around that 300 level, we have until probably about noon before it decides to make a decision on which way it goes. But if we could rotate down here, it'd be nice. A little bit here. You do have this forming, right? That overhead resistance. NVIDIA trying to creep back up. Microsoft also, same thing, trying to hold above 400. S&P gave you a little bit of a wick. You have price push down, price delta push down, delta flattening out, price trying to push up. So if it does break this opening range low, potentially watch the delta to crack the low and give you a confidence in a breakdown. I did take that one short from the high here, and I got stopped at break even because it didn't immediately go. I wanted this next wick to be up a bit higher, up above 320. If I would have failed 320, I would have re-entered that and caught that down the VWAP. We didn't. It kind of just ran away from us. If I would have left my stop at 320, I would have never got tagged out. But realistically, just kind of not part of my game plan there. I needed to get out since it didn't go quickly. NVIDIA trying to break down now below 785. So this market might get heavy quick. My initial stop was here. I will throw that in there. If it wants to go through that low, I will take that below 70. Because I think if it flushes this 70 level, it could continue on pretty quick, right? The sellers will start to pile in below this level. Microsoft caught a bid off of that 400 level, so we're pushing up into that 401 on Microsoft. I have this stop, placed into here to see if it does give you that hard melting candle where it just gets you in, right? You got a good delta push down into this level, then you popped a little bit, right? But you still have this overhead resistance here. You are wedging out a bit. Russell's still within the bottom end of the opening range, so still in the opening range, but has recovered a lot of that sell that it did in the initial opening print here. Let's see if we could get this to melt off on us. I would love to get, stopped in here and be right pretty fast down into like that 50 level, and then be able to kind of just catch a little bit more of that move, kind of moving forward. With NVIDIA failing that low, Microsoft is still ticking up, though. Apple looking to break through the lows of the day. NVIDIA looking to push down some. I think there is still heaviness in this market. I think we could get a big flush. If it comes in kind of quick. If it breaks this key 70 level, right below there. Down at, I say 50, 54. If price could get down to 54, then maybe if we could crack that area, we could rotate down to 38 and then down into that 200 level. But if we crack this high, see what happens. See what happens. I did mention that 40 level, which is right here, which is not very far off. If it gets into there, watch that as well. But we're looking at this short potentially coming in through this VWAP area. S&P is holding above VWAP, which is concerning. NVIDIA just getting really heavy. And if NVIDIA has been driving the market, then I want to be involved in a short if NVIDIA is going to keep going sell side. And that's just what I'm thinking here. See if we get filled. There we go. Running the sirens. Let's see if the sirens will help us out here today. Risking to VWAP. Not quite there, but hopefully it doesn't tickle back above there. We're kind of giving it a little space. There we go. 285. So come on now. We're going to short through this level here, see if it'll go. If it pops off on us, we'll be out. Our initial risk, 250. We don't want to be risking more than that. That's my line of sight. If I get stopped on 250, I'm okay with it. So we're out, down 213. This is why I don't play around with these levels down here as much. Excuse me. Down 213. No harm, no foul there. I didn't want to risk that full. You can see we popped down, right? I'm going to wait for that level to come back into play, that overnight high probably here. That wick bottom there, NVIDIA just caught a bid right as we got involved in our short. So as soon as that NVIDIA caught that bid, that's where we got pushed right back up to the upside. So as I mentioned, I'm right fast and I'm wrong fast. So I'm okay with getting out, being wrong, because one good trade will make this a good day and start the week off right. And not feeling that tilt, not feeling that FOMO. We're looking to just catch these moves as we see them and get in, get out. Like I said here, we could have caught that little down move. We stopped ourselves out at break even, but all according to our plan. So I'm all right with it. Let's see what we could do as far as Delta is concerned. Still kind of acting now very similar, right? Price is pushing down, Delta's pushing down. Could the next flush of that low be the correct flush? Maybe, but you could. The Russell is pushing high side. S&P is also pushing up to the opening range high, so could look up. All right, Jofi, sounds good. NVIDIA pushing back up. Microsoft not giving the same kind of strength. Does it hold this? Or does it break that? Do you get a pop? Do we pop off of that? (9:12 a.m. here, Central Time). 66% short on the tilt. Nothing crazy in either direction. We do have Delta kind of just acting the same as price. So kind of just dipping down, dipping down, dipping down. I think we do have Russell looking to break above, looking to push up. S&Ps as well. So I would be cautious on a short yet. Give me that another failure of that overnight high would be nice. I'll take that short again. Kind of saw that heaviness in NVIDIA still coming in. But then it popped right back up. So the reason I took that short there was pretty much based on a crack of this shorter term uptrend type thing here. Let's see what it looks like on the NQ. Oh, NQ1, bang. So we didn't quite get down to that major level. That's more of the level that I had tightened up. So we could wait till it gets down through, like I said, 255, 260. Now through 260 at this point would be better. Do we take the short through here one more time, give it a shot? Or do we let this thing set up a little more? 70% tilt to the short side. I'm going to just wait. Delta acting good. S&P's going down. Russell's going down. Everything's kind of getting heavy. But S&P is still above VWAP. I would like to see S&P get back below the VWAP area. There we go. A little tickle below VWAP. Is it a bounce point again? Or is it a flush through 56? Another little, seems like another liquidity grab there. Yeah, that's like the tighter version. Up into the bodies, more touches. There's some wicks below. Obviously, it's a longer term. I want to see if this will hold this or if it's gonna give us a wick off bottom kind of breakout setup here above VWAP. Not something I normally would trade. Nvidia getting some strength again. Are we gonna get heavy? Still holding below VWAP. I think we could get down to 50. Below 50. Below 62. I'm going to sell through 62. No, I'm not. I'm going to avoid that. Avoid that middle chop. I'll watch it if it gets down to 38. See if I can catch a divergence bounce play from there. Right, that's where we got up and opened. If we get there and flush overnight lows, then we'll start to watch that for the bounce. Right now, we took that one trade in the middle. That's how we got ourselves kind of stopped out and down for that $200 negative push. One loss on the day so far. Got to look for those A+ setups. 71% short on the tilt, approaching into that 56 level. 56 could be the bounce. 56. So as far as the divergence bounce play for me, right? Let's say we'll use the overnight high because it's the same strategy just on the opposite end, right? What I look for is price to run up into either an overnight high, overnight low, previous day high or low, or one of my key major structure levels. And I look for price to try to break out, fail to break out, and then try it again. Once I see that kind of setting up, I look over here and I look for my delta. Cumulative delta here on the bottom of my screen. I'm sure you can see it there. Let me just make sure I'm on the right screen. Yeah. So you can see cumulative delta here. Price pushed up, initial push, initial break, looks good, right? You get a wick off high on the delta, which is right there, and then you get no follow through, and delta starts to push heavier, right? You start to push up again, price trying to push up, make new highs, and delta's just not having it, right? We're having a lower high in delta. All delta here is this cumulative delta is people who are buying and selling on market. I got some data latency, so probably price is speeding up. So that's really all I look for. I look for the delta to be doing the opposite of what price is doing, or if the price is, like I said, if price is pushing up into a level, I watch for a delta to slow down. I watch for price to slow down, buyers start to come out of the market and sellers to come back in. And then I just look to rotate that either down into VWAP or into the opposite end of the range. Now, when we get to the overnight low here, I'm going to watch for the same type of setup, especially if I think that a day is going to be more range bound or there's going to be lack of follow through on breakouts. I look for the same type of thing to happen, right? I look for price to push down into that level, break through, fail it, try to break it one more time, either make a new high or make a new low, then rotate back through the level that I had set because I find that level to be reactive, and then I will rotate it back to the VWAP on the other end. Usually it's going to be the overnight low, overnight high. I like to clean up those overnight inventories. Those are very important to me. So hopefully that explains it in just a quick little breakdown for you, Astra. If you need a little bit more detail about it, let me know. But I try to keep everything very simple, right? I just try to keep it to a point where it doesn't take a ton of information for me to make a decision, but also at the same time, it does keep me out of, certain positions here and there. And the reason I took a loss here is because I traded not in a level that I normally trade. I mean, I set myself up for, Should not be okay with that. I thought I would add it to my playbook. Last week I saw it playing out, so this was maybe an A setup. It's still working, right? It just was early, and that's just not around my overnight high, overnight low, previous low, and previous day high. These are the only levels I normally trade around. And then, like I said, this dotted line here, this is the gap from Sunday. So the open on Sunday gapped up to here. We closed at this bottom dotted line. So I'm going to watch these dotted lines as well for the day just to see what kind of action we get. But we did just crack through that trend line through the bottom, so we could just see that nice flush and rotate down to that low. And then I'm going to start to watch that low to see if I could get another opportunity to catch my divergence strategy, right? That's really all I look for. Could look to see a bounce here at the 38 level. 38.75 level. Nvidia's starting to get heavy, but not giving you a lot of follow through. So that bounce here would be something to watch. But you got to watch the setup, right? See, tilt is 71% short. So that shows that retail is short. We are all retail, but I'm talking about the majority of us. Majority of people at Top Step are short through this level. So be cautious, because a lot of times it doesn't follow that. It'll diverge that as well. So if I see that get into like an 80% short, I look to see if I can rotate to the opposite end if I'm at a key level, right? So we're going to watch this bounce. You can watch it here on the delta, right? Price was up here when delta was down here. Now delta's back below this low, even below this low here. So you can see it down there, right? Delta broke lower. That means new sellers are coming in. There are more sellers than were there before. You have support here in price, but price ran through it. Delta also trying to push down below even the lows from back here. And then, I kind of use these areas, but not quite as much as the, market open areas that I'm looking at there. So Delta acting in congruence here. There's no divergence quite yet. You can see we're right on the one standard deviation off of VWAP, right? So that's a nice area for a reaction. Do I think it'll follow through? Maybe. I think we get to the overnight low. Overall, this short from the high here was a great short. Hopefully, if you're a longer term trader, that overnight high to overnight low rotation was a beautiful trade idea. So this is what we were looking for. We look for the failed breakout of an overnight high, get the little bit of a divergence, get that wedge type move. Usually I like to look for a little bit more, but hey, we failed it. I got stopped at break even because it just wasn't working right away. I was a little early on it. Came back up. I said if we get through 20, I'll short it again. I didn't get to 20, so I didn't take the short. And there you go, short right down the VWAP. And now we're just rotating down to the downside. Nvidia coming into support here at 776, 775.85. So watch that. But we're going to watch this overnight low. The only thing I consider now that if we do get at the overnight low, I'll be watching is this gap fill, because I don't like that. Really, I could use, aftermarket hours as the low even. So 172. So we could even get all the way down to that area. So that 172 area could be important. I will watch this whole zone here. If it cracks through that low, then previous day lows could come into play. A little bit frustrated because I could have took the second time through and you could have got through there. But I can't be upset at staying out based on my rules, just following my rules, just notating to myself that the trend line just broke. We are in a downtrend. We are once, twice, three times, four times touching it. Fourth touch through that 60 level. We broke, down through 56, I should say. 56 was the breakdown right there. See, you wicked it, popped above it, failed it. So these are just the things that I watch over the whole day, just seeing what I got, what I don't got. This loss, probably, I could have been a little bit more patient on it, but I'm glad that I got out because I would have been down a lot more if I didn't just use my stop and get out. And if I catch one good trade, I'll be up and green for the day, so I'm not too worried about it. My only concern is that this is going to get pretty heavy and then just continue to flush, and I'm not going to be able to get another entry for it. My short from that overnight high still is the play for the day, and I just did not get a chance to hold it. Some decent size got filled there at the 15, 16. So price is starting to speed up around here, around this overnight low. S&P's has a little bit of ways to go for their overnight low, down to 5,009 and a quarter. But there is some support here at 50.16. So it could bounce from 50.16. But it's incoming shorts. NVIDIA flushed the low. Let's see if it breaks the pre-market low. If NVIDIA breaks pre-market low, it has down to 760 for the gap fill. On a day like today where I could have been short from the top, I'm down 200. So these are the types of things you kind of deal with on a day-to-day basis for yourself, right? You can see the market well. You can understand what you're looking for. You can have your setup, and you have to follow your rules. You follow your rules, you get stopped out, and then you take a less than optimal entry and you take a loss. So now take a step back, think about where you want to be in. Watching that overnight low, I want to see a divergence here. I don't think that I'm going to get it, though. Markets are very heavy. So if I get a failure of the overnight low, maybe a bounce up into here, and then try to break through 200 again, then maybe I'll take that short through the low. But realistically, this probably stays heavy and gets down into this gap. If we're down here, you would think that the gap fill happens no matter what. You see the delta there. When I was talking about delta divergence setups, right, at key levels, this is not it, right? This is straight down, straight through your overnight low, right? Here it is. I'll put that there for you so you can see it on this chart. That's your overnight low. This is your gap fill area. And this area above here is where we gapped open to, right? So now this is the zone that we're in. If we could pop up into, say, 210, excuse me, fighting a little cold here. Pop up into here, then come back down through 2 and fail it, then maybe that gives you an entry, but I don't know if we're going to get that, to be honest, because you can see how heavy delta is. People are just pouring into sells. The Russell still fighting, though, still fighting higher. So maybe we do get our divergence set up. I just like this down into that purple zone. My next key level on my longer term chart here, you can see it, is 17,162 quarter. 17,162 quarter is down here. Could we come back into that, right? That's previous day areas, previous day zones. I like that level as a support level. I don't think we get much through here. If we do, then I think that selling just kind of pours in. So I would just be cautious. It's pretty heavy. So yeah, that 162 quarter. But I'm gonna watch this, see if I can get a little bit of a pop off of here, up through that overnight low, maybe rotate back up. I need to see some sort of setup, though. I need to see this thing maybe try to push back in here, fail to make another low, either wedge out, give us like a divergence down lower, right? But you can see how everything gets quick, pushed up, and then knocked down. Pushed up, knocked down. You're starting to get delta to push up. So let's see if we could get back above 2. If we get up into 210, just shy of 210, this candle here, this breakdown, then maybe a break back below it does give us the heaviness to continue on. Although we just closed the gap, right? We closed the gap there. You can see gap close. So I just got to watch that. 53% long. We just flipped to the long side here. So that could still continue down. NVIDIA wicked the low and is rotating up. I want one more like wick bottom. This is why I watch the 1 minute. I would like to rotate back off of here. I know it's heavy, but I also do like my divergence strategies at my levels. So give me a little bit of a pop up here. Come back in, fail. Let's see if it'll fail it. There, that initial idea is to come back down now, come back into here, give you a lower high, well, a higher low, and then another break back up. But if this is going to be a V bottom, I'm going to be annoyed. Can I get a failure of this? 68% long. I did mention if it gets up to 210 and it fails this, it could continue downside. So that could just be my entry there. A little stop sell, quick short down through here. Try to get into that area once again and then look for my divergence strategy to the high side. So I am going to short this. Let's see if we can get the alert. Nope. Looks like it's going to bounce right now. We're going to take that off. Actually, I'll throw the sirens up there, see if it'll get us to the flush to the downside. This is only if it breaks back down through 300, back to 200. If not, like I said, I'm just looking for this to kind of fail through here hard. If it holds above 210, I'm going to cancel this order because I do think that the strength will come back in. We are going to start to look to see if that divergence is going to come into play. But if I start to see a heavy delta here, the flush of this low gives us another rotation, probably cracks the low one more time just to get more people involved short. So we're going to capitalize on that. Try to take it down to this blue line again and then rotate up. But it looks like it wants to hold up here. I have my order out there. We're running the sirens. We're seeing if this short will come into play on a failure of 210, back down below the overnight low. A secondary break down below the overnight low gives me a little bit more confidence that it does follow through, and then a wick off bottom down through 80. That's really what I would love to see there. Just a nice little pop down to 80. Trail it quick, trail it tight, and then see what happens if you get it follow through. Continued flush down to 162. Get down to that previous day low. It's so far away that I think maybe we do give it a little bit of a chance. So we're going to run the sirens here. Let's see what we can do. Come on, baby. Fill me up. All right, we're filled. We're in. Above 210. Wow, that's a quick liquidity grab. 250 is our loss. 250 is our next loss. If we hit off on that, we'll lock ourselves out. We don't want to take more than that on the day. But I think if we could get through this overnight low here, we should get a flush. Run the sirens, baby. Run the sirens. Come on, Bal. Give me that. I want you to run away down to the downside. Give me that flush, that quick, hard push. Like I said, down to 183, I think. But if we could get through this purple zone, then we're off to the races to the downside. So I do want to see this get through this overnight low. If we can't, then the longs may come in right here, right now. Come on, push. Get through the overnight low, see what the delta's doing. See if I got to get myself out. It's kind of lingering here. You're not getting the flush that I want. Maybe that 200 level is acting as support. I saw the Russell catching a little bit of a bid there, so maybe I just... No, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Be patient. Patience on my short idea through this overnight low. If we could get through it a little bit further, like I said, should try to wick off the bottom. That's really what I want to see. Not that I necessarily need the follow through the low, but I want to see that manipulation to get more people short. 62% long on the tilt. Could give me that short bias. Idea here, continuing on. NVIDIA is still trying to hold below these lows. Come on now, get through this overnight low one more time. One more time, baby. Not going to take a full risk on it now that we're not holding it. If we're trying to hold so badly that we're not going to get through it, then I'm going to cut my risk short. run the sirens, get through that low, run the sirens, get through the low. Come on, baby. Low of the day. One more low of the day push. Gotta talk to it sometimes, get through it. Looks like we're gonna get stopped out here. Yeah, we're stopped, we're flat. All right, 2 losses on the day. Not quite full losses. See, I still have a whole loss to work with here at 386.20. I only want to risk about 500 on the day, so that's just me being me. Do we get the divergence here? It seems like we're trying to push through this low, but not quite getting there. Pushing up higher. Could be our long idea coming into play. I'm not opposed to flipping right back the other way, but like you can see, it still feels heavy. You got Delta pushing heavier. I'm going to shoot one more shot at the short, potentially, to give myself the opportunity here to make some of this money. If it fails it this time, we'll go. Delta pushing higher, price pushing up. All right, hitting off on 50 viewers again today. What a beautiful sight to see. We are down 386.20. Haven't taken, we took one full loser. We just took a smaller loss there, trying to get this thing to push down. We do have our little bit of a setup coming in here for the long off of my overnight low, but I am considering that one more leg down does happen here through the overnight low, down through 183, and then I want to see if we're going to be quick with it, if we could catch at least down to 183, and then be even lower than that, right? If we could push down through 183, 182, then that's where I would think their liquidity grab would be, trying to get more people short and then rip it to the high side. But right now it looks like our overnight low is acting pretty good. But if it fails this right now, it should go, I would guess. If we stop out here, then we'll be done on the... I'm not taking bigger than a $500 loss on a day. Seeing the market well, executing pretty good. The other end of it, we shorted the high of the day, got stopped out, and then it ended up working out pretty nice, that overnight high to overnight low. So all good. If you are new to the stream right now and you haven't entered into the giveaway, I am doing the giveaway today. I'm just trying to execute better trades here and trying to make up for the couple losers I had today. Hold on a second. Getting rid of these cups. You can walk closer. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, trying to wipe this out, and then I'll do the giveaway a little bit later on in the stream. Got my new color changing mug here from Day Trading Coffee Co. If you haven't entered the giveaway, you could always click the link, get into it, enter your username, and I will do that. Let me see if I could find the giveaway page for you, and I'll copy the link. Well, it is in the alerts. What's up, dude? You showing me something? Oh, right. You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? No? You're good? All right. He's still in his pajamas. He doesn't want to come say hi yet. All right. We're going to take the short through the overnight low here. See if we get the follow through on it this time. I'm quick to stop myself out. I'm willing to take these small losses because when I do get my move that actually happens, it usually happens pretty quick. I usually am able to capitalize on my momentum or my fade or whatever I'm looking to do at the time through my levels. I usually am able to make up for those small losses pretty easily. It's overnight low looking strong right now. You can see Delta flattening out. Price just not getting through here. If you get either a big push down in Delta or a big push up in Delta, then price may go the other way. But right now you see Delta still not pushing up with price just as much. So there's probably, oh, maybe let's see if we get above that 216. It does give you that little bit more of a push, but still no real delta push to the high side, right? Flat delta. No new buyers, no new sellers. Everybody here is just playing around. Now you're starting to get it. We're ticking up a little bit. We'll see if there's a big order on the book at all. Up at 230, you got some. 220. There's a push. Delta's popping. So that is the divergence. So we're going to get rid of that there. So at our level, key level, overnight low, tried to break through, did not follow through. 73% long here, so watch it. Be careful. This is a lot of times what I'm looking for that pop. I'll get rid of that for a second. You can see price pushed down through the lows, push right back up. Delta flattened out. Tried to push through the lows again. Didn't get that big, good push to the downside, good follow through. Now you're seeing it on the other end, right? Push up, lack of follow through on that push. Delta also, same thing, trying to push up, but having a hard time, hard go at it. Could potentially look to rotate this go around through the low. So I am going to watch that still. If it's going to fail, if that's going to be the manipulation candle up above, then this is the short. The timing of it is a lot better. If we get through 200, then that should be less likely of a wick than it is more of a break of the level. So we're just going to watch it. Be careful. If this continues upside, then so be it. NVIDIA did catch its bid. It's back up into the range of the pre-market, right? It wicked the low of pre-market lows and is rotating back up to like that pre-market high of 784. That's right now it's 780. So just watch it. So this attempt, the reason I took it is I talked you through why, right? I said if it comes up here above 710 and fails 710 and rotates through, there was a good chance that we wicked through the bottom. A lot of times we see that. That's why I took the short with the heaviness, with everything going on. That's really why I went with the short as opposed to my divergence long. I didn't actually see the divergence coming into play quite there, so that's why I didn't take it. If we do continue on to the downside, it seems like a lot of times we do, on days like this lately, if we come down, get our little bit of a pattern coming in here with the rising wedge or whatever you call this. It depends on who you're talking to, what they call this level, but you could call this a support line, a trend line here. A lot of these cracks tend to lead to selling to come in, follow through. So I am still waiting to see what happens at this overnight low if it comes back into play. If it doesn't, like I said, I was initially thinking to come in here, play the short through the purple zone. After it got through that dotted line there, that's that low of the gap fill. We filled the gap and we immediately rejected the gap fill. So potentially could continue to rotate up into that VWAP area. But I am still watching that low. We are down 386.20. Took a couple losses. Took a break even at the high. We did short the high of the day here. Had a really good entry on it. I just didn't trust the follow through based on my criteria. I needed this candle to happen when I did it. I got in just one or two candles too soon. So it is what it is. That happens time and time again. I am okay with that. We could make all this back and then some with no issue if we could just be patient, wait for our setups to come in and execute appropriately. We will be doing the giveaway for hitting off on 50 viewers. We just hit off on 50 viewers again. Day in and day out, we try to get out here, provide a little bit of value, winning, losing, whatever. I'm just here to make sure that you guys keep your heads in check. I'm just going to continue to kind of just talk through what I look at, what I'm seeing as I see it. If anybody has questions, comments, analysis that they want to see on certain things, I'll look through it. Obviously, I trade futures, but I do run through Mag 7 names like NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft. These are the names that are important for the NQ, so they are important to me to watch. You could play this break of this trendline crack if you really want to and kind of cheat the level. For me, maybe we'll wait to see if we get another pop up into that 38. If not, I'm going to wait to see if the gap, the overnight low breaks again. If the overnight low breaks again I think it comes in with a harder selling pressure, right? You got to see this is the book map. You got to watch the delta kind of start to get heavy, right? Things got heavy quick. This is starting to get heavy. You got to break down below here. If you do break below this level here, then there's a chance that this price is going to melt off, right? That's why I'm going to get involved with it. Sorry, I am fighting with a little bit of a cold, so just bear with me with the sniffles and the coughs. I try to be out here even through the crap. I'm here. So it's also good to note for yourself how you're feeling on the day. What your pre-market prep was. Let's say you don't stream or whatever, and you don't journal, and you have a hard time typing out journals or handwriting them or anything like that. Record your screen. There's free software. You could use OBS. You could use Loom. You could use any of these softwares that are free. Record your screen. Talk out what you're doing. Listen to yourself again. If you feel like you're having a hard time, why did I do this? Why did I do that? It's better because you can see the live action happening in real time. You're talking through your emotions. You're talking through your thought processes. And then you can go back and revisit it later and say, when you have a clear mind, let's say, and be like, why did I take that loss? Why did I take that short? Why did I take that long? Why did I take that win? You even review the good trades, even on top of the bad trades, right? I'm not going to call losses bad trades. Review your bad losers, review your good losers, understand why you took these trades. And if you execute according to a plan, then at least you have, an idea what you did. While you record your screen, or if you handwrite your notes, go back, look at those notes. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, pre-market. Or if you do like a weekend review, right? Once the week's over, you review all your stuff. It's easier to go back and just kind of click through your trades on video, hear yourself talking through, you might think that you see something right now, right? I might think, hey man, if this trend line breaks, we could be down to these lows and through, right? I'm going to short through the overnight low. But in reality, you missed something huge because you're just so focused on this one idea, this one trade, instead of seeing the big picture. And you could do that by recording your screen or writing down your notes or whatever. I think the analytical stuff is great if you're going to be really good at analyzing it, right? Some of these softwares give you some really good information. But the biggest information that you need to know is your thought process, is more so than your statistics. Statistics can kind of show themselves no matter what, right? I can kind of tell what my stats are if I just go to my performance center in my funding accounts, right? All right, now I know my win rate's at 70% because today I took a couple losses. It was at 80%, so we dropped down a little bit. Why are we dropping down? Are we executing poorly? Are we doing something that we shouldn't be doing? All that kind of comes into play, and you could get that by talking through it. Even if you don't talk through your trades or record your screen, if you like to handwrite stuff or you like to type stuff up, make sure you include your emotions, how you feel that day, what you thought prior to getting on the stream or onto trading, onto the charts. Just notate those things so you can come back, because your mental state is more important than what the market's doing, because the market does what it does every day. It's going to come out here, it's going to open, it's going to do whatever it wants. You're going to execute, hopefully, and do your best at executing your plan. So if you could execute your plan, you could be happy, but at least you'll know what you're doing by reviewing it. And it's more that emotional side, it's more that mindset side of why you did things over, just, I took all these losses. I have all these stats. I'm 60%. I'm 50%. Why are you 50%? Know why you're 50%. Let's see if this gets heavy here. We're going to end up getting filled, huh? See if the sirens are going to run or not. I'm only going to risk the 210. So 10 points there. It'll put us just over our little bit of a loss limit. My loss limit is $500 on the day, but I'm still going to give a little bit of a full risk here. If it does break through here, then I would expect it to go fast. I don't think it'll go. I'm going to get rid of that totally. you can see Delta tried to push through here, price rejected. If price gets down here again and you get a really nice Delta push, I think you could get this to move without much resistance. I don't think we get back above the overnight high again if we do that, right? So we're going to run the sirens, see if this will go right here, right now. Right here, right now is where I need this to go and go quick. I risk 210, and this will be a fast mover, baby. Let's go. I want this down below that purple zone. I don't think I'll get myself to trail it down there, but if we get down to that dotted line, we'll be at break even. Once we're at break even, we let this trade do a little dance, and then we'll see. There we go. I'm going to be at break even now, so let's see if we can get this thing to move in our direction a little bit quicker. Actually, I am not going to be at break even. I'm going to be at just above 200 because I'll risk 50 bucks to make my full move here. Wait till the dotted line gets tagged. See if it can get heavy here for us. Are we getting a delta divergence? We're getting good delta push. Let's see if we can get more heaviness or if this is going to act as resistance here. 200. We want 200 to hold. Hold 200. All right. Break even now. If it pops up on us, we're going to get out. I think 200 should hold. I'm not afraid to take my base hits. That's the biggest thing. That's how I'm able to stay profitable, I think, is I take my base hits and then I will capitalize on big flushes, big moves if they go quick. If we can break through this dotted line, we're going to get up on there and then see what happens through the purple zone. If we get through the purple zone, then we should just let it go. If I get some fast moves, I'll trail it faster. I want to wick the low. NQ loves to give you big wicks through levels and then come back up and fail. So that's what I'm looking to do. I want to see if I can get that failure of 183, and then I could see maybe it'll continue through and never come back. But if it does, I at least earned myself another trade here, right? I made at least 100 bucks on this trade. I think I'm going to make a bit more if it does break through that low. I need to break through this low here. There we go. We broke through the low. I want it to go a little bit more before I get through there. 165. Yes, it's P&L stuff, but it's really more candles. Yeah, it's going to pop off that bottom. I'm buying myself another trade. That's all I'm going to do. Every time I execute, I'm looking to buy myself that next trade. Buy myself that next little bit. There's that flush of the low. Well, let's go. Come on, baby. Push down through the purple. Get through the purple zone. Let's make some money today. We went red to green. Let's go red to green a bit more. 335. I'm going to go right on that low of the day. If we can break through this purple zone, we're going to just trail right to the bottom of the purple and then see if we can get it to go further. So that's how you execute and wait and wait and wait, and you make up for your losses. That's how you make up for your losses, baby. Let's do it. Make up for the losses. A nice little $500 trade there. Let's go, baby. Take that. Woo! Turn the sirens off. Stop annoying you. It could get heavier, but I made back what I make. And like I said, I take my base hits as they come. And I only take one contract. That's one contract at a time. So as I build this account up, I already took my withdrawal last week. So the goal here is to build up a little bit more, maybe another one mini. Yeah, one mini. Sorry, I apologize. One mini. I thought that wick of that bottom probably gets us out anyway. So there we go. You can see right here at the top of the screen, we went red to green today. I'm not going to force anything else right this second. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. On days where I go red and I get myself within one trade of my personal loss limit, and I go back green, I pause. And I give my setup some time to reset up. I'm not going to hammer into another entry here just because I think it's going to reverse or anything like that. I let this thing set back up and do its thing. So I'm going to let that dance around a bit. I have to do a little work on the other screen to set up the giveaway so we can see who wins the giveaway for the 50 viewer mark. But I just want to kind of review why I took this trade beforehand. The reason I do these reviews kind of right immediately, like I said, is so that I could keep myself from hammering back in. Also, but just so you realize what we were looking at the time, right? I did mention if you wanted to cheat the entry, you could probably play the break of this trend, but I would like to see a pop up right here beforehand. So I wanted to see the pop above here. I've been mentioning that a lot of these trend line cracks within the direction of whatever trend we're in, bearish or bullish, seems to be breaking and giving us good follow through, right? We were at our overnight low. A lot of times I'm looking for the long off of the overnight low, but the way price has been acting over late with the gap up, right? These dotted lines was the gap zone. And this purple zone to me was just where I saw the overnight low to be after market close, right? So this is market closed back here, and then we chopped around in this zone, and then we gapped this, right? That was the gap. So I thought maybe this was going to be important to watch, right? That's all it was just to watch it, right? So I think, all right, if we flush the overnight low, then the NQ loves to either flush that low again and then rip it up to the other side, or if it's going to flush the low and continue, it'll do that as well. But I'm not huge into playing the breakout follow through. I'm really more looking to catch this overnight low to the day's low and get that flush and then just catch as much of that as I can, right? That's why I trailed all the way down to the bottom here once we broke it, because I said, hey, there's a good chance that now we've swept some of that liquidity. The NQ wants to rotate back up a bit. So, and I'm not really a great momentum breakout person. I'm more of, like I said, to Astra Trading. She brought it up. She said, explain the divergence bounce play. I'm more of a divergence bounce mean reversion trader than I am a breakout follow through kind of person. But at overnight lows, a breakdown of that in a downtrend with markets being heavy, big names like Nvidia and Microsoft selling off, you get through a key trend line and you break it. You need that little extra little push. I say you probably get the follow through to the low, and then you got to see what happens from there. So I got to find a little giveaway generator, raffle generator. Got to type a bunch of names in. Just give me a second. All right, so Spy Proby. I'm going to include these people from last time. Oh. Kramer Trade, and then I'm going to do... Yeah, why queen? Got to just run through all these form submissions. Astra, no, I've never seen you chat in here or anything like that of late, but if you want to be involved in this giveaway, click that link and send an email, fill out that form before I'm done filling it, because I appreciate people who come in and actually have comments, have questions, want to interact, right? If I am a little quiet right now, it's just because I am running through these names and typing them through my little generator here, just so I can make it so it's as transparent as possible. Just want to make sure everybody gets a fair shake at this giveaway. I really appreciate everybody coming in. Like I mentioned, I am going to watch the... Thank you, Astra. Got it. Jennifer Emery. Gotcha. Could have put you in the little wheel of names here. Alrighty. Just probably should have did this earlier, but I run through giving my kid to school and all that stuff pre-market. So everything I do here, I know I mention it time and time again, but for anybody who's new, my stream is all about like pretty much the realities of trading, right? I have a family, I've got kids, I got to take care of them, I got a day job, I run a coffee company business, I do all these things. There's a way you could be profitable, a way you could execute your trades, and you could be involved. Like my kids will come in and out of the room. Like this is not going to be a perfect production every day, right? You're going to see things happening in here that maybe on other rooms you might not see. So I try to keep it as real as possible because I think the majority of people who do come into rooms like this are people who have families, people who just like want to be a part of something that they necessarily aren't. They think that there's like a fantasy land of trading, and there is a fantasy land of trading. There are kids that trade all the time. That's all they do. They make money. They buy cars and stuff. But the rest of us want to just be able to raise our families the way we want to raise our families and do what we want to do when we want to do it. So that's what my room's more about. If you agree with that or don't agree with that, it's cool. I just want to show you the realities of what I do. And if that's something that you appreciate or don't appreciate, it's all good by me. But that's what I say when I do things. John Lee, Joe K. Joey K. I just gotta make sure I got all these. I've got a lot of entries here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm giving anybody who's been in this room for today the ability to get into this giveaway. I'm gonna run it at 10:15. I'm just entering all the names in here, making sure I got the people who went out of their way to fill out the forms, to do the right thing. Riaz, you're in there. Yes. Sorry if I get quiet. Like I said, I'm just doing this. Jackson Tag, Joe Fee, Sam Gay. Yeah, JKDHML 1 Spa Pro B. Cool. If you want, Evan, if you want in on this, you got to be a Tradecaster user, dude. So go over there and make an account. But I like you, so I'll let you get in. But hit this form up, Evan. Just because I like you, buddy, I'll let you play along. Let me just get the link for you, so I can. I know you're at work, so it's hard to do Tradecaster on the phone. It's not as easy. It's on there. You could do it. But I'll send. There you go. Just fill it out just so I can tell people. You don't have to pay with Tradecaster for now. You do have to pay after the 7 days, but that's only if you want to get the paid stuff. You could still access my room for free once your free trial expires. So because I am currently doing a free stream, I'll throw Evan on this wheel of giveaways. The more the merrier. So far, so good. This is what we're looking at with our wheel of giveaway here. This will be our current giveaway setup. This is true, Jofi. I get it. I get it. I know there were a few others that usually come in and talk that did send emails. I just want to make sure I get everybody in that I've given away. I gave away a free month of Tradecaster to Trademaster last time, won on the spin. So that's cool. Trademaster won that. I'm really looking forward to trying to give somebody $100 worth of free Day Trading Coffee Company swag, some coffee. Depending on where you're at in the world, the coffee might not make it through customs. However, all the gear will. Absolutely. That's my New York coming out, man. My coffee. Sorry, I don't have that southern drawl here in Texas yet. It didn't come on in. What's up, Mike B? How we doing? Mike B, welcome into Policing Pips. We are currently up $116. We battled our way back from a little bit of a drawdown here. We took this nice little short through the overnight low right to the bottom tick here, basically at 170. So we're just got to be impatient, waiting for that next setup. And while we wait for that next setup, I am doing my giveaway from our 50 viewer giveaway. Right, I mentioned every time we hit off on 50 viewers, And as we kind of come in through here, attaboy, Mike, I like it. Mike, if you didn't get into the giveaway, I'm going to wait till 10:15 to do it. So if I get the email before 10:15, then you will be in on the giveaway. So just let me, anybody who's in this room, in the Tradecaster room, there we go. Got Evan's email. Nice. The paid version is definitely worth it of Tradecaster. Not just because I am a Tradecaster streamer. Like I said, you could come into my room and be in here for free for a while until they kick me over to the paid version. But for the most part, that paid version is really going to give you that value. I mean, when you come into my room and you're in here for free and you're doing what you got to do, yeah, I call out trades, right? We just made a $500 trade there. I called out high day short. I said, if you're going to stay in this short, if you're a little longer time horizon, not like me, you could have held on to this. You know, I got myself stopped out for break even, but if you were, you know, a little risk averse and wanted to risk to high a day or even to 20, you would have been in overnight high to overnight low, and that's a beautiful move. Or even just down to VWAP, another really good trade there. So we have provided enough value for you to pay for your monthly, even 6 monthly, you know, biannual, annually, even just today, enough in ticks to give away, to get a giveaway, get a membership. I apologize. But the value that I provide here, right, is it goes so far, right? You take however much you want from me. You know, like I said, it's like a real life trading room. My kids are going to come in and out. I'm going to be bouncing in and out to take care of them. My wife's here and there. I got to answer maybe a call. I do work. So if something happens at work, I got to go run. It just gets my job based on my name here if you're new to the room. But like I said, it's more a reality, right? You're not going to get a big production. I do little fun things here and there, like with the sirens and stuff, and I play that role. But for the most part, I try to provide a constant value while I'm on the stream the whole time. But once I get off, and let's say you got that paid version, hop over to Deck's room, hop over to AK's room. Those guys have been doing it, and they trade, you know, I trade futures. I do analyze, you know, like I said, Mag 7 names and stuff that's going to affect the NASDAQ more than anything. But they're going to go through those small caps. They're going to go through options stuff. There's a lot of things that you could get out of the paid rooms that are going to be something that it's invaluable, right? You're going to be able to just take that and be able to pay for your paid room quick and just be able to move on, right? Eventually, like I said, once the coffee sales goes up into profitability, we are a really new company. We started in January. So once we get into profitability, I am going to be donating 10% of my profits to the funding fund, what I consider the funding fund. It's as clever as I could have come up with. And I'm going to donate combines through Top Step to start. And I am working on partnerships with a few brokerages. Right now, some big time brokerages. So we will look to give away cash accounts as well. We had a really good meeting last Friday. We met all the streamers, everybody that came out to New York City. It was a fantastic night where we had our meetup. And then, you know, going forward, we had a nice meeting. We did a lot of good stuff, but I made some good connections there that could help out with even just our giveaways here in the room. Like, I'm not going to be able to go crazy. Yeah, I would say if you are involved in any of the Forex, CFD funding companies, the time is to switch. I switched along. I mean, I did the FTMO stuff, and way back when I first started. That's why my name is Policing Pips, not Ticks, because I started in the Forex world. But once I switched to futures, and you realize that it's not as regulated as the equities, but at the same time, it is still regulated markets, and it's, you know, a place where it's pretty trustworthy as long as you're in with some of these trustworthy companies like Top Step. My understanding of Take Profit Trader is pretty trustworthy as well. I've been in and out of Apex. I just, you know, maybe I'll get back in soon, you know, maximize my funding. But right now I'm funded with $100,000 worth of Top Step money. So I'm just taking it one account at a time, taking it slow. Some people do trade copying. I found myself getting my accounts into trouble with copying. So right now I'm just focusing on one account at a time to keep my stuff going. And like I said, I apologize for the sniffles. Kind of battling this little bit of a cold, this cough that I've been battling for a little while. So S&P's is right at this overnight low area. A lot of times the S&Ps will respect its areas and zones better than the NQ. So if you do see a bounce and a turnaround right here on the S&Ps due to it being the overnight low and starts to rotate, then watch this NQ to follow it the other way. If you get a flush and follow through, this may just dump off, right? So just be careful with that. But you also have this level right here where the gap fill would be. So the gap didn't quite fill in the ES, but it did in the NQ, right? So it's that zone. It's not perfect, 50,004. So just watch that level for a bounce as well. But if the S&Ps follow through and push down, I would anticipate this NQ to also follow through. But if you do get that rejection, S&Ps hold their levels way more precise than the NQ. The NQ will run through, wick you in, and then run you over the other direction, right? So just watch it. Be cautious. Mike, I like that you caught the same play. That's great. Like I said, I went red to green. I was down to basically one last trade. We took that in full confidence to be able to understand that I like to be right quick or wrong quick. And that's really just my strategy. That is what it is, especially with my time horizon. As I mentioned, I have kids. I have the business that I'm trying to run in between. I have a day job or night job, evening job. You know, we have a lot of things going on, right? So I pick my time horizon to be that 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Market open till noon Eastern, and whatever time you West Coast people decide to wake up early in the morning. But I'm quick with my moves. I'm not really looking to catch giant moves unless it's just going to melt off on me, right? I want to be right quick, and I want to be able to trail fast. I was mentioning this short here through 56 because of our longer term trend line. It's not really that long term, but it's from this gap fill. I said if we flush here, so I've been calling out the levels to short. I tried to short it here once, stop myself out. I normally don't trade anything other than overnight highs, pre-market overnight highs and lows, previous day's highs and lows. I was trying something a little bit new today, and then once it took one loss on it, I'm not going to FOMO in multiple times to the entry, so I just didn't execute on it. But it was a really good short from there. I did talk it out. You could rewind the view of the stream if you really don't believe what I'm saying. I'm not really here to bullshit anybody, so I don't really care. Yeah, 17.5, 256.75 at 10.18, 9.18 Central. That's a beautiful entry right there, 56.75. That's really, really nice. Are you trading micros or minis or what? One mini. It's all it takes, man. It's all it takes. Did you take the whole short all the way down through, or did you stop out somewhere along the line? Or are you still in? That'd be nice to be still in. Because I do think this stays heavy, because that wick of the S&Ps right here, this right here, tells me that we kind of may want to go downside a bit if we hold below this yellow line. The NQ is right at my level 2, right? So my longer term level, that 162 quarter, that's why we're running into some resistance here because of this level. I do have to draw up a little education type thing where I could go through everything that I look at, why I draw up my levels. I may have something to announce soon. Well, I'm not selling no courses or nothing, so it's not that. But I'm just going to do a little, we had some meetings at TradeCaster. We are going to be doing some things moving forward. So just look out for it. 23 points, baby. That's money. I love it. Anything 10, 20 points, you can make a good living on that. Let's see. Like I said, yeah, we're doing a little thing here with the TradeCaster community, so just be on the lookout for it. But you may learn a lot about how I go about my routines come soon once we're able to talk about what we're supposed to be doing. But everything that I do, you're going to learn front, back, side to side, and you should be able to know how to trade like me. If you come here every day, you pretty much could see it. It's pretty easy, but I do a lot of little things in between that really kind of help with staying in and staying out of trades, right? There's that melt. We just cracked that 62 quarter. 62 quarter broke, and you can see how hard we broke, right? That's my level right there, acting like a absolute perfect flush point. Yes, it may be a wick off bottom, but I don't think so. I think with the S&P's cracking that yellow line, look for it to get into this blue dotted line, then that would be where I could consider maybe a bounce point, but also the markets are pretty heavy, so just be cautious on that long or anything that you're looking to do. We do watch the delta divergences as well, but you can see how heavy that delta is, right? I mentioned we cracked this yellow line here. That really helped our short come into play. Really, we capitalized as much as we could on that move, and then now we're looking here, see if we could catch a little bit further, but this is kind of just running into a little bit of resistance. Like I said, 62 is that breakdown point. If it gets back above 62, then watch the rotation, but also got to watch that delta divergence. It is 10:15. I am not at my level yet. If we get down to previous day lows, maybe I'll watch for a bounce play, divergence, something like that. If we rotate back through overnight lows, I'll watch that as well, potentially for the rotation back to VWAP. But VWAP may catch up down to that overnight low before we can get there. So, as I mentioned, I appreciate everybody coming out here, YouTube and Tradecaster. It's fantastic to see the stream grow in the amount of time that I've been on here. From day one, I mean, I was streaming to nobody, to it growing to, consistently now hitting off on 50 people a day. I couldn't be more grateful to everybody out here. So we are going to be doing a giveaway, like I said. And as we kind of hold these levels and continue to grow the stream, I plan on giving away things more and more and more. And like I said, I'm here to trade and make money trading. I don't really care to make money off of you buying courses and stuff. I want to give back more than I want to take. So that's my goal with this room. And if you're involved and you hang around, the more chances you'll get at, getting involved in something like this. Don't fret if you don't win the giveaway today. If you don't win, it's okay. You can still go to my website and check out everything on there. It's daytradingcoffeeco.com. And when you hit off on daytradingcoffeeco.com, if you use code policingpips, you will still get 15% off your order. Always just use Policing Pips. You'll always get 15% off. That's my constant gift to my streaming viewers. It's, just part of it. So let's get to it. I am watching this level, but right now we have everybody. We're locked in. The giveaway is done. We have all these names here. It's 15 entries. Some people who watch don't necessarily want coffee, or maybe don't even speak English and they just don't care, or they watch me on mute or whatever they do. They just didn't want to get involved in the giveaway. These are our giveaway people. So I'm going to give it one spin. Whoever wins it, I will announce it here on the Tradecaster chat. And then I'll also reach out to you via email to work out how we'll get the giveaway going. All right. So 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. Let's see where it ends up here, everybody. Looks like Sully won. Look at that. Nice little W there for Sully won. Gonna have to reach out to Sully, tell him that he won his giveaway here. Anybody who didn't win, like I said, use that 15% off code. Keep coming back. I promise you. Ugh, I'm sorry, Jofi. I'm sorry I didn't get it to you. Next time I'm going to have to send you something of your own. Jofi, you sent me an email. I'm going to email you anyway on the side for being a day one supporter. I'm not going to do a full giveaway for you, but like I said, I am going to reach out to Sully, make sure that he gets his winnings. However, like I said, if you do want to use my code, Policing Pips, spelled as it is on the stream, you could always get 15% off. I'm going to work something out and make sure that we could do giveaways every week. if we could keep these viewers up, let me see. I'm going to go to alerts, give this props to Sully, and we'll go, let's see, downloads. Sorry. Nope, it's not downloads. I never know where I save these things. You know, I got so many folders. Just figure out where I saved it. I'll figure it out. But like I said, I'm gonna continue to do these giveaways. I appreciate everybody coming into here. You saw that I just typed the wheel of names up, got all the emails out there. Everybody who submitted the forum, I'm gonna reach out to you guys anyway. Send you a little bit of a follow up, see if anything that I could do to help out as far as that's concerned. But I think moving forward, like I said, weekly, if we can hold these 50 viewer mark on a week-to-week basis, maybe it won't be coffee swag or anything like that. Maybe it'll be some cash. Maybe it'll be a combine. I could pay up. I could get somebody a 50K combine. Maybe that's the giveaway. I'll let you guys decide once we get into the stream next week, or let's say Friday this week. If we get hit off, if this stream grows a little bit more, we get up into that 75 people mark, I'll give away combines. I'll pay for somebody to get some Top Step combines. And then you can follow along with me and learn to get funded. And as you execute along with me, you get yourself funded, start taking payouts. Then maybe you could pass it along, the gift of kindness, and give away something to somebody else when you take your payouts, right? That's my goal, like I said. I want to try and provide value and give away more than I want to take, right? So as long as there's more people here, people coming in and streaming and viewing the stream on YouTube, on Tradecaster. If you're on YouTube, click the Tradecaster link, 7-day free trial. Once that free trial expires, you will be able to get still access my room and everything for the time being. You just lose some of the paid rooms and some of the education stuff. But like I said, just be on the lookout. We do giveaways. We do sometimes Deck last Monday, he did a double your money. So if you bought 1 month, you got 2, 6, you got a year you got 2, so on and so forth. So all in all, I think it's been a really nice, a nice little growth here in our room. And I want to be able to continue to grow it over here in Tradecaster, because I do believe that Tradecaster not only is a great value for you as a trader, but like I said, like it focuses everything on trading and on the right side of it, right? It's not all just scamming and trying to get money from you for something. Obviously, yes, they want you to pay for a membership, but that just keeps the serious people involved and kind of eliminates some of the fringe stuff where you're just kind of trying to get rich quick deal. If you want to take this seriously, do it long term, do it at a point where you get to make some money, right? You want to do it in an organic way. And do this long term, because this skill you can take with you. Like I said, I learned on Forex. I went to equities. I came into futures. I've done options. You could do any of those things, and you could trade any. You could do crypto. Like I don't do crypto. I'm gonna probably start dabbling here and there once I can. I may start to do it. I spoke to Caesar up in New York when we were up there, and he's into that crypto game. Not heavy, but he does dabble. He says he does pretty well on it, and gave me some tips. So I may start to do some crypto stuff here and there just to kind of wet my beak in another avenue. But for the most part, like I said, I'm a futures guy, but everything I do here, you could transfer to equities, you could transfer to crypto, you could transfer to a lot of these things. So just I try to make that value for everybody. I lost this, so let me see if I can do it again. It was on the desktop. That's where it is. Cancel. Okay. I apologize for that. Oh. Alrighty. So now we are here back focused on trades. We did our giveaway. I did mention, like I said, it's going to be a weekly thing. If we could keep the viewership up, if we could continue to build off of this, I'm I'm going to continue to push out these alerts on what I think is going to happen. Look at this rejection of the overnight low here on the S&Ps. Also, watch this here. This level that I mentioned, right? That 162 quarter, we wicked it, we held it, now we're rotating back up. Could that be the point where it bounces, right? This is a very key level. For me, that's a February low, I believe, what I have it at. Put it on the 30. That's the low. Right here actually is the breakout point. It was this December's high. Then we broke that December high early January or late January. And then that's really where that breakout point is. So for this to rotate and flush through this 162, market's got to really not like what's going on. And right now it's sort of just more, I feel like a breather than it is an indecision or a decision to be bearish moving forward. So we are going to be interested in that 62 level based on that being that breakout point from January. So this pretty much wipes out the year's gains in the NQ. So watch this overnight high. Maybe it look rotate back up high side into VWAP. Something I would be interested in. However, I'm not going to look to execute the long until it can confirm, right? I want it to hold above here. If it could do what it did before, maybe come up and do this on the opposite end, right? Come up here, fail it, come back down, and then push back up again, right? Maybe come back into this level. Give me that secondary confirmation that it wants to rotate back to the other end of the overnight low, right? This is no longer valid for me. I don't care about that. I don't care about this line. This line helped me here. You're on this one. Better now, Ray? Good. There we go. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Like I said, that 162.25 acting as that area, that breakout point from January. It was the December high. Be cautious around that 62. This level right here. This is going to potentially be a point where you may rotate back up into that VWAP. And then I don't know if that doesn't necessarily chop around down here, or if that leads to that longer term buying to push us back up to highs. I don't know, right? And if we do flush through that 162, that's bad news for the market. I think that 162 level there, that crap really gives you oh, I don't know what I did there. I don't know what this magnet is. Okay. If it does dance around that 162 level, it could stay around here for some time, right? You wick it, get below it. Obviously, we have to down into this 113 because that was previous day lows, right? We moved into that low there, but that level of 162, you can see that we tried to bounce off of it and then rotate back up. That's why we have that big gap, I believe, is because of that liquidity zone. But I would just be cautious around it. If it does break and hold below there, and then we continue down below previous day lows, that's a little ways away. Like I said, that puts the NQ on the year down into the red, which is interesting. That's what we're going to get to after all those pumps, just constantly rallying, right? Because the year started 2024. Well, not quite the year on the red, but obviously we sold off in January. And then once we started to rally from the 5th, we never really looked back from the 5th. So we do have down to the lows of 16,334 for January. But like I said, that was the December high. So you kind of don't want to flush that December high. It puts you down into that 16,760 level if you do kind of continue to the low. This feels more like it's a pullback to rally us higher into the election season, but what do I know? What do I know? Let me text out there. I'm going to watch this overnight low. Like I said, my stream goes to 11 o'clock daily. My wife has to run out, so let me just make sure she's all set. Give me 1 minute. Just be mindful of this overnight low and be mindful of that 162 quarter level. I just need to check on my wife, and I'll be right back. I'm done at 11. All right, all right, all right. Like I said, watch that overnight low. I get off at 11 a.m. I mean, yeah, 11 a.m. Central Time. I didn't say it is 11. It's 10:30 here, 10:32. I just said I had to go check on the wife. I get off the stream at 11 Central Time. Nope, I'm born and raised New York. I moved to the Houston, Texas area about officially, I guess, last year. We've been here for about a year now. So yeah, New York, born and raised. Old New York City police officer, and then now I moved to the Houston, Texas area. So that's where I'm at now. Overall, like I said, watch this overnight low. If we could push maybe back down into these, this gap down here below, could look to see if that rotation back to the highs goes because of that 162 quarter level. You could tell my New York comes through with my accent and how I do things, and then also some of the stuff that I mentioned, and also the picture above, all that fun stuff. However, yeah, I am a transplant now. All right, all right. Sully's going to try our new K cups that we're going to be launching. So that's going to be part of his giveaway, which is pretty cool. I am not a K cup drinker myself, and developing K cups isn't just as simple as, hey, let's do it. There's a few different companies. There's a lot of cost involved. So developing the K cups, doing some research on which of our coffees would be better in the K cup as opposed to being brewed in either a pour over or a regular type of coffee. So we are going to be doing K cups. I do have this is the prototypes No, it's not O'Sullivan. It is just Sullivan. Sully does not watch this stream. I have to reach out to him and tell him to get on here. I don't know how much he watches trading stuff, but I'm sure he'll want to see my face every once in a while. I guess everybody with a Sullivan or O'Sullivan or any sort of type deal would use that name. So let's see. If you are in the Houston area and decide that you want to show up to the HPD golf fundraiser, they are doing it Thursday this week. We will be doing it. We're going to not be on stream here on Tradecaster because we will be sponsoring the golf tournament as Day Trading Coffee Company. So we'll be providing coffee, doing a little bit of advertising and whatnot, spreading the word of the good company so we can actually get some more people buying and just support a good cause so they could support their season, playing some baseball as opposed to being cops all the time. But that's why I won't be on stream Thursday. But every other day this week, we will be on stream fully 8:30 to 11. Just trying to keep these numbers up, trying to keep everybody engaged and having good conversation here. Head on to Tradecaster. If you're on YouTube, like I said, just make that a free trial. You can stay in the room as long as you like. I'm not going to go paid for a little while. I would like for you guys to continue to get that free value out of me. I'm just one day at a time here, right? I want to see this come back to this overnight low. If it does come back, wick off on it. I will look to go long, but this really is starting to get stronger. I mentioned that 162 level. If you wanted to get long off that 162.50, it made a lot of sense. This was a good area for that. I just, once I took this short here, this was the short here that I took. I was trying to be, more standoffish. It was really from here to here. I wanted to, give myself a time. When I go red to green, I keep mentioning it. If I go red on the day and then I make a great trade, execute my plan, do what I'm supposed to do, and then go back green, especially if I'm green, up $100 or whatever, I take a few minutes. You reset. Don't look to hammer right back into the trade because, I'm not trying to give it right back. I'm trying to be patient, trying to be focused on what I'm doing here. And then we did the giveaway, right? So we did a little bit of something there. This area here, I did say was going to be important. We wicked it, came right back out, and now you're rotating back here. As I mentioned, I drew that line before, up to that VWAP, up to that where that gap was. Everything that happened pretty much overnight has now been cleaned up, right? So your whole overnight inventory has been cleaned. You wicked, you cleaned up the gap. So everything here, all signs pointed to now that overnight, Sunday night, garbage kind of gets cleaned up. Now you're going to start to get true moves. You bounced off of a key level at 162 quarter. The rotation back high side does make a lot of sense. And I think we have, like I said, even up into that 300 level again. As I mentioned, it probably won't hit off on that longer term downtrend line until about noon. Now we're looking at more like maybe noon, maybe 1 o'clock. Up into that level right there will be, let's say 320. So yeah, pretty much overnight highs. It could come in quicker if we start to catch a bid here. But this was pretty much what I anticipated after we wicked the 162 level, failed it and recovered. I wanted to play an overnight low break, but I wanted to see it, give it some resistance and then run through it again. I needed a setup. There's no setup here. This is just play a momentum break back. But that's just what I would be looking for here. And then, like I said, Astra asked earlier what the delta divergence, like mean reversion strategy that I use. And you'd see it right here probably play out. You push down. to that key level, you give a really nice strong push down, you pop back up, you try to push lower. Normally, if you're trying to push this back to the lows, you'd start to see this get heavier pretty quick. It seemed like it wanted to a little bit, but once it hit off of 162 again, you got that good bounce. And once you get that good bounce where it starts to flatten out, even here, you didn't get a ton of delta, no delta. And then this here, volume break, you start to see it tick up. More buyers start to hit the bid and kick it into gear and start to rotate us back up. And ever since then, you've seen the delta just going straight up. Price goes straight up. The only time we ran into a little resistance there, 200, you saw a flattening out of delta. Then once you started to break above, same deal. So as long as delta kind of moves in your favor with your price action, it's going to tell you maybe that you could stay in a trade. I don't use it as an entry, like, oh, it's moving in my direction, I'm going to continue to enter. But that's just me. If you're looking to use it to keep yourself in or get yourself out, you can notice that when you get to key levels, if it slows down, if you get a divergence, you either A, get out of your setup, or B, it's a setup on its own for a turn to the other direction. So that's what I look for with the delta stuff. This was really nice. This move here was really, really nice. All right, red to green on the day. Looking to see if I could get back to that overnight low here. See what kind of delta we get. See what kind of push. If we could get through it, wick off, and then rotate back up through 200, then I may look to go long through there. But currently, I potentially think that we might chop around down here also for the day. Gonna try and go through trading economics here. See what kind of real news that we're going to get the rest of the week. Flash PMIs tomorrow, 8:45. New home sales at 9. Durable goods Wednesday. GDP growth rate Thursday. And then Friday, you got the core PCE, personal spending, and personal income. These numbers are important, and I think they'll move the algos, but I don't believe that we're going to get a ton of real big information out of this. Maybe out of the durable goods and maybe out of that GDP number. Obviously, these ones, the personal spending, personal income, you're going to get some action off of it. It's pre-market. So it's going to whip us around, definitely algo-wise. And then you're going to see, either a recovery and then just a balancing come when market opens, and then see where it goes from there. But for the most part, like I said, I don't really think those numbers are too convincing as far as the Fed cuts and whatnot, or rate hikes or anything of that nature. 10:44 a.m. here, Central Time. Not New York time. New York time, it is 11:44. My son is going to come in here for the last little bit of this stream. The wife's going to go somewhere for a little bit before I go to work. So I got daddy duties while I'm on the stream, and then afterwards, I hope everybody has executed properly today, managed your risk, and was able to, if let's say they followed everything I did, come out on top from red to green. Realistically, if you were able to take that first short from the beginning of the day, and you're one of the people who are able to maintain a good, healthy, my idea is short today, I got a good entry, I'm going to leave my stop at the high of the day, you would be in still very good shape with your short. So overall, we did mention that area right there for that. We entered that trade one candle too soon, got stopped out for break even, and then we got the flush down to VWAP. After taking that, if I would have executed that and gotten in on the one candle where I could have actually made, about $600 on that, probably would have not entered any of these other ones. Maybe would have looked to get short or long down here at the overnight low, but it would have been a very picky trade. Once I'm up about that much, I tend to lock myself out for the day. So even today, right now, I'm really going to be cautious on this overnight low bounce, although I do think it comes in. I think we get a chance here that it comes in here, maybe flushes. But I gotta watch if it gives us a hard push down, if it's going to be a wick manipulation, what kind of price action we get down here at this overnight low. If we push into this dotted line, that purple line, that gap fill again, can we rotate back through the overnight low to get us a nice long setup for that divergence, right? Because if we push back down and we don't get, like Delta should, if we get down through this 200 level down into here, the Delta should also be down in this range, right? It should be down here somewhere. If it doesn't get down into that range, right? That last time we broke it, we were down here. If we break it again and we're up in this range, right? If we get into this zone and the Delta is still up here or up in here and not down below that negative 1500, then potentially that's my divergence looking to go to the high side. Come say hello, Maximus. Come say hi. Everybody wants to say hi to you, Boot. You could say hi and then you could chill on the couch. Oh, you're shy today? You're not shy today. Oh, okay. Well, Mommy's got to go, so you're going to go. Everybody wants to say hi to you, Max. They see you on the screen. You don't want to? Oh, gosh. Oh, look at everybody! Oh, Mommy said she's going to get you puffies. Okay. Big Max is in the building. He's having one of those days. Mommy's going to go out, so he's going to be a little cranky pants. Just a little bit, but he's going to have some puffies. You going to have some puffies? All right. Got it. Today he's going to set up his iPad.
Say hi, right? Say hi,
Say hi, everybody. Hi. There you go, right there. Woohoo. He's good. Today is not his happiest day, but he's still here. He's still good. Yeah, the wife's leaving, so we're going to get going. She's having a good time today. We're going to hang out with Maximus. Right? You good? He's good over there. Yeah. You can take it if you want. That's what it is. He really wanted me to make more on the day. He said you're not up at least 500, so stop talking and start trading. Is that what you said, Max? No, you didn't say that? He said no, he didn't say that. So, on my TopStep X platform, I do not have the option to use Cumulative Delta. I have a personal brokerage account with AMP, and I use Quant Tower. If you do have TopStep, you do have the option to go with the Quant Tower option. I just used the TopStep X option recently, and I like what's going on with it, so I've been using it for my funded account. But the Cumulative Delta in AMP, if you just go to their indicators and type in Cumulative Delta, it auto-populates with its general settings. I know that Trade-of-8 also has the Cumulative Delta as well. So it just varies based on platform. I don't know if the... let me see on the Trading View if they have it. Cumulative Delta. Cumulative Volume Delta. Let's see if it's accurate. We're going to go to the 1 1 minute. It looks pretty good. I see it on the trading view. So if you go to trading view and you go to cumulative volume delta, that could be a good version of it. Although I haven't played with it, so I can't promise that it's going to be as useful as my AMP one. I like the AMP one because I do pay for my data. So I am getting pretty accurate real-time feeds here with AMP and through Quant Tower. I haven't had many issues with it, so I do see this pretty much being really accurate. AMP, the Quant Tower platform also it has so many really good features as far as what you can use pretty much for free, as long as you have either a brokerage there or you have Top Step with them. If you go into here, you also have the ability to have your own version of a book map that is pretty accurate. I mean, I've used this to see levels that I was waiting to see what orders are sitting out there, and I can see order blocks through this. You can see what orders are being executed at what level, right? If you hover over some of these, you can see there's a 43 lot sitting up there. Down here, you got somebody flashing 60 lots. So, and then you can see when larger orders start to get filled, the bubbles kind of act on here. So I know you asked about the cumulative delta. The reason I bring up this in the Quant Tower, you're starting to see, right, price trying to push up here, delta not pushing up. There is a chance that we do start to push a little down. There is two different ways I use the delta divergence. If I see price pushing up and delta not pushing up, it means that it's getting bid up on less size, right? So it's less likely to kind of follow through. And then on the other end, if I see delta making new highs or new lows and price isn't catching up, there's something disconnected there. There's a divergence at the opposite end, and a lot of times you'll see price try to catch up to that delta. So if I ever notice that when I'm on stream where it's the opposite divergence, where like let's say delta's making new lows and price is not quite making new lows, or it's trying to push highs, I'll throw that out there and I'll explain to you what I do when that time comes. It's very hard to explain when it's not happening, right? Because I can't really show you that price action as accurately as I would like to. You can see it here. Price is attempting to make another new high right up into that VWAP. If it hits off on that 238 level right there and delta's trying to tick down, I would imagine that it doesn't follow through that. Yeah, what's up, bud? You're all done? Do you need a napkin? Here you go. Napkin. Hug the puppies. They were yummy, huh? You ate a whole lot of them. Oh, all done with the napkin? Thank you. You want to say hi now? Yes? Come on. Come sit and watch for a second. Oh, all right. Everybody likes when you come back on here. So, yes. Let's watch this. Ugh.
I'm watching something.
You're watching something? Say hi first, and then you can go watch it. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, go back to watching. That's the realities of this stream. You're just going to get some Maximus. You're going to get me. You're going to get my wife. You're going to get my other son when he's not at school. Just every day, just a little bit of something different. But like I said, I'm not in a studio. I'm in my house. I'm doing what I got to do and focus on my trades. But you can see here, delta trying to tick down, tick down, tick down. Price trying to push up into that 238. You got a whip, and now delta just acted. You saw that big buyer stepped in there as we broke that point. Delta now looking to push up with it, but not quite getting there. Let's see if it fails it. If delta pushes down a little bit and you start to get a failure here, then that could be a nice little double top type action. But Russell is pushing up. S&P's is also pushing up. So everything is pushing upside. If this delta then now follows through with the price, then you get that continuation. But those are the types of things I look for when I'm looking at my delta divergence type strategy. But normally, I don't like to execute around VWAP for an entry criteria. But like I said, this is that area where that gap came up and opened above, right? So that's where we're kind of sitting at that opening. What are you throwing at me? Oh, my key fell. Astra, hopefully you find a good cumulative delta. I don't know what platform you're trading on. Like I mentioned, Top Step X doesn't really have a cumulative delta unless they added it recently. No. Let's see if they have just a regular delta. No. There's no delta indicators that they have yet. They're kind of slowly adapting their stuff. They use the TradingView chart, but also they have certain things that they use that are a little bit different. We're 60% long here, right into the VWAP. I did mention, like I said, I wanted this pullback to come into that overnight low for me to try and get this long, but we never got it. I'm not sure if I like the delta indicator on TradingView because I can't really see it great, but it could work out. So if Astra, if you like it, let me know if that's something that you do on TradingView or whatnot. I pay for my TradingView as well, so should get some accurate information from it. A lot of times you just got to be careful if you use the free version of TradingView. A lot of the data is delayed. Yeah, TradingView is good. I think the delta will work on there. You just got to you kind of just have to adapt it to your own style for it. You got to make sure that you understand that maybe it might display a slightly different value than what I'm not really looking at the exact values here, right? I'm just there's a big order sitting up here. Fit 24, 7, 25. It's not that big actually. Okay. I'm not necessarily looking at it's 200 or 50 or whatever, or negative or positive. I'm really just looking at it in relation to price. So if we could get this same thing on TradingView, let me see. I'll switch over to here. You can see what it looks like on the TradingView chart. Let me see if it pops up on the stream so you can see it because I have my TradingView set up. So that's the cumulative delta for TradingView. It's a cumulative volume delta. So it's slightly different than the one that I have on the Quant Tower, but you can see you're still getting very similar information. Price making new highs, delta making new highs. We're kind of in that continuation. Same thing here. Price pushed down. You're getting divergence a little bit. Trying to make a new high. Don't. You get down into the lows. Everything kind of acts in conjunction together. So once it starts to turn away from itself, it's a good idea to start to look to see what, sometimes delta breaks before price does, right? You can see, we're about to break out. Then you get that good move. So it seems very similar on this chart. I would just watch it and be mindful of it. See if it works out as I talk about it with my strategy, right? I don't know how to get rid of it now. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Oops, that's the wrong button. As I mentioned, my stream normally goes 8:30 Central to 11 Central. Potentially done for the day here anyway. I wanted to see if I could get this long back to the overnight low. We never really got to it. So really want to see this thing maybe rotate up into that overnight high. And then you got to see what happens there. I did mention that 162.50 level long term. That is the breakout level from December. Was the December high and then the breakout in January. So once you clean this up, that really keeps you above January highs and into being in a green territory for the year. So anything below this level turns the year pretty much negative. Obviously we were down below in the beginning of January at the lows, but for the most part, this was the new highs that we started creating after December. So that'll put us back in the red for the year. So that's why that level is so important for me. I considered going long here, like I said earlier, but I did not have the entry criteria for myself. Maybe that grab above that gap fill low easily push us through. I did mention if we get back above overnight low, if we fail it and come back through, I'll have my entry there. If it doesn't set up, it doesn't set up. You can't just execute just because. You have to have some sort of plan, and if you don't stick to the plan, you're not going to be profitable long term. Yeah, you might get lucky. Of course, you could have caught this. The thesis was correct. Everything about it was good. I just didn't have a way to mitigate my risk on it. right? I could have entered above 200, 201, on risk down to, 190 or something like that. But that didn't give me the ability to use my strategy the way I use it, right? And once I went red to green, I try not to give back that day, right? So I was down 300, right? Just about, or just over 300. And then took a trade and I went from down 300 to up 116, or I was down a little over like 380 something or something like that. So to go from down 380 to up 116 to give it back, don't want to do that, right? So keep our green streak going. We have our stats here. Daily balance up and to the right. The only reason this goes down here is because I took a withdrawal last week of $800, right? Live on stream. I did it at the end of the day. We got our balance up to 28.28. I took $800 out. So we are up now 144 because I didn't take out the full amount. So we're up another 140, 116 on the day. You're all done? Oh my gosh, you're eating all these things. Good job. I missed. Silly daddy. Silly daddy. Good job. I did. It's gone. So yeah, the only reason this comes down a little bit is because we took that withdrawal, right? So here's our daily stats. To finish off the day here at 11 o'clock, I think it was a productive Monday. We took a break even to start the day, then took another one loss, then took a secondary not so full loss because we kind of wanted to cut it and let it go. Ended up working out. Now we took that one good trade that brought us from red to green, right? So a couple losses and then one good win made everything better. So for the month of April, this is what you're looking at. Our last few days have been pretty good. We traded Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last 2 weeks. The only red day we had was this Monday the 8th. We over traded a little bit, but we actually executed on our plan really good. So I was happy with that losing day. I cut it while I was down and was okay walking away, and I was able to make that back no problem, right? So to come in today, starting off Monday after a little gap up day, a day where we weren't really sure what direction the market wanted to take us. I had a short bias to start the day, could have really maximized that, but technically to my strategy, I executed correctly and can't be mad about it. It says all these are doubled. I think they're executions, not trades. So we really took 5 trades today. Really, we only took 4 because the first one we fat fingered in and then we fat fingered out. Like as soon as I fat fingered in, I got myself out of that trade right away. So that was that. If you notice, I poked my lip. I got punched in the face yesterday at work. So it's kind of just playing with it and annoying. But I'm okay. I'm still pretty, I think. We got the week coming up. Hopefully we could just build off this and then do another withdrawal by the end of the week. We do need to make $200 a day for the withdrawal, but I'm not forcing that $200. So $116 does the trick. If we can't withdraw Friday, we'll withdraw Monday, and we'll go from there. Also Thursday, we're not going to trade. I appreciate you too, Jofi. I'm going to reach out to you, see about connecting a little bit because I know you're over in Dubai, so I want to see what I could do for you over there. I want to learn a little bit about the coffee shipping business and whatnot over there because of the customs things and the shipping costs and whatnot. I know there's a huge trader base based out of Dubai, so I really want to try and be able to tap that market, and I think reaching out to you would be a good idea. So expect an email from me, all right, Joe, if you just to communicate about that kind of stuff. But overall, like I said, I appreciate everybody coming by. We're going to go ahead and hit this lockout button, confirm our trading lockout. This button is fantastic. It just says that I'm not trading anymore today, and you'll see it. I could go here, and then I come back here, and it says lockout. I can't trade it no longer. So once I'm off stream, you know that I'm not executing anymore on this account. Come tomorrow, you'll see the same balances. You'll see everything exactly the same, and we'll go from there. We'll build off this. We're going to look to get this stream, like I said, continue to keep it up over that 50 viewer mark. The longer we could do that, the more I could provide value, the more I could give away, the more we could do more and more stuff. And hopefully, long term, we build this community into something special, and we can really start to do meetups. And, I really don't, I just want to give back to people. I want to learn to trade more consistently for myself, make as much money as I can for myself trading, and then also provide as much value within this room and within YouTube and with the coffee company and everything like that, just to be able to give back to people and make it worth their time. So like I said, 8:30 to 11 every day. Congratulations to Sully 1 on winning the giveaway today. We will do giveaways moving forward all the time. As long as the viewership stays up over that 50 mark, we'll continue to do it. Like I said, I appreciate everybody picking my room over everything that they could be doing or anybody who they could be listening to. It's really nice having people that kind of stick around. Real life gets in the way sometimes, so I like to present that real life to you. Not trying to hide anything. It's not going to be flashy. If there's a day I come on here and I'm flashy, it's because we all did really good, right? So I want to just keep growing it. If you didn't win the giveaway, right, like I said, Sully won. Use code PolicingPips for 15% off if you still want to buy coffee, if you want to do anything. We are developing K-Cups, as I mentioned. Let me show it real quick. I haven't released that to anything, but we are going to be starting to release these. We've been doing a lot of research, a lot of stuff for a coffee company. So if you are interested, if that K-Cup thing is your thing, it's not my thing quite. That's why it's hard for me to develop as much, because I'm more of a brewed coffee, espresso type guy. I don't even own a K-Cup machine. So to develop these, it's a little tough because I got to go other places to do it. If you're interested, reach out. You can always go to that link where I put the contacts tab, reach out, or just message me on here, and we'll talk about the K-Cups and the release date and all that stuff. So just expect that. As always, go over there, check it out. All the coffee, all the shirts, all the mugs, anything you could want. Hopefully we could add more. If you have anything that you like or you want to see included, let me know. Abby, thank you for coming in. Every day, we always try to do our best and just execute to our plan. If you're going to keep trading today, be careful. I'm going to tell you levels to monitor are going to be this overnight high again. Then also up into, let's say, that like at the 320 level is important. If you get up above that 320 and we start to rally a little bit, I would be cautious up into 356, 360. I don't know if we get past that today. If you do, that 400 level, and then up above 400, you got 478. If you start to melt off, if we start to reject this level, if you get through this overnight low and through this gap fill, watch the previous day low and be careful, because that 162 level, like I said, that puts us either red or green on the year. So these are the things that you got to watch out for if you are going to continue to trade today. Like I said, I'm done shutting it down. Going to take care of the young man over here and get ready for work. So like I said, I appreciate everybody. Trade smart, have a plan, mind your levels, and until tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 Eastern, market open, we're here. So I will see you all tomorrow. Bring a friend. Let's get this viewer count to continue to grow. Keep it up over 50. And as long as we do that, we'll continue to give stuff away and provide more and more value. Create a good community. And I'll talk to you later.